So here's something interesting. In just 6 months, South Africa's life insurance companies have paid out 298 billion rand to policyholders and beneficiaries. That's not a typo. That's nearly 300 billion rand in half a year. To put that into perspective, that's more money than the GDP of many African countries flowing directly into the hands of South Africans when they needed it the most. Yet, despite this incredible financial muscle, there's a troubling reality that's lurking beneath these impressive numbers. Most of South Africans are walking around dangerously underinsured, and some don't have any life cover at all. Let's start with the good news though, because there's plenty of it when you look at the insurance industry. South Africa's life insurance sector is absolutely crushing it from a financial stability perspective. With over 4.3 trillion rand in assets and liabilities of 3.9 trillion rand, the industry is sitting pretty with 377 billion rands in free assets. That's more than double what regulators require as a safety buffer. Think of it as having twice the emergency funds that you actually need for emergencies. This financial fortress didn't happen by accident. Even during the lockdowns, when the world was falling apart and death claims were skyrocketing, South African insurers barely flinched actually. Their reserve buffer only dipped slightly below the 2 times requirement during the 2020 and 2021 years, proving that they're built to weather even the toughest and extreme of storms. The payout statistics tell an equally impressive story. Over the past 4 years, the industry has consistently paid out over 500 billion rand annually in claims and benefits. We're talking about 607 billion rand in 2021, 578 billion rand in 2022, and 598 billion rand in 2023. And in 2024, they did similar numbers. On top of that, when South Africans need their insurance, a lot of them actually come through. Remarkably, 95.6% of death claims were honored in 2024. And there's another thing that might actually surprise you. South African life insurers are actually really good at paying out claims. The industry has maintained payout rates between 94 and 96% since 2021, which is genuinely pretty impressive to me. And it's on par with international standards. Life insurance policies have hit 97.3% payout rates, while universal life policies have achieved an almost perfect 99.9% rate. Even funeral insurance, which operates with minimal underwriting, they still manage a solid 94.7% payout rate. The reasons that claims get declined though aren't mysterious or even unfair, because I know you were thinking about it. They're usually pretty straightforward. We're talking about fraud, people lying about their health when they're applying, or claims that fall outside of policy terms. Think of things like suicide within the first 2 years. The message from the industry is pretty clear. If you're honest during the application process and you keep paying your premiums, your claim will almost certainly be paid. This reliability has created a genuine goodwill amongst customers. According to the University of Pretoria's Customer Experience Index, the life insurance industry in South Africa scored 74.1% out of 100 for overall customer satisfaction, actually outperforming many other sectors. Customers consistently praise insurance for service quality, staff competence, and the reliability of their digital platforms. Yes, I know, there are horror stories of the industry sticking to the book when the case might demand a softer touch, but that's something that we've got to contend with as customers. Sometimes we're not in the right, which actually sucks. But there are things that are pretty concerning. Because despite having one of the world's most financially robust life insurance industries, South Africa has a massive insurance gap that should keep everybody awake at night. A lot of people just don't have insurance. The numbers are stark. Only 1 in 10 South African adults has life insurance. Among the country's 14.3 million income earners, current insurance coverage only meets 45% of households' total insurance needs. Let me actually break this down into real numbers. The average income earner under 30 makes around 10,000 rand per month, but you would need more than 2.7 million rand in disability cover to maintain your standard of living if something went wrong. On average, they only have about 1 million rand in cover, leaving a crushing 1.7 million rand insurance gap. This isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet, to be honest. It's about real families facing financial devastation if anything happened. When someone becomes disabled or dies without adequate cover, that entire household doesn't just lose income, they're often losing bigger things like houses, their children's education opportunities, and even their entire way of life. Now, in a country where unemployment sits at 33 point, I don't know where it is, % right now, and household budgets are already stretched thin, this insurance gap represents a ticking time bomb. So to you watching this, do you have basic life, disability, salary cover? Like, how much do you pay and how much are you covered for? Let us know below so that we can see if we're getting the best deals for what we have. Now, speaking on stretched budgets, South African families are feeling the squeeze from every single direction. There's a triple whammy that's hitting all of us: inflation, high interest rates, and a sluggish economy. All of these have created a perfect storm for household finances to take a beating. Food and fuel prices have been climbing relentlessly over the past couple of years, and with unemployment at devastating levels, many families are simply trying to just survive month to month. This is the reality. Now, all of this financial pressure is showing up in the insurance statistics in worrying ways. In the first half of 2024, a staggering 4.3 million risk profiles actually lapsed because people couldn't afford to keep paying their premiums. That means 4.3 million South Africans and their families went from having some protection to having none at all. Meanwhile, savings policies are being surrendered almost as fast as they're being created. 294,000 plus new policies which were issued versus 287,000 policies which were surrendered in the same period. The irony is pretty heartbreaking. Just when families most need insurance protection because of economic uncertainty, they're forced to give it up because they can't afford the premiums. It's like being forced to cancel your health insurance precisely when you're getting sick. Not great. Unfortunately, where there is money, there will be scammers. Criminals who are just trying to steal all the time. The life insurance industry prevented 1.4 billion rands in fraud in 2024, but they still lost 131 million rand to various scams and criminal activities. The numbers are getting worse too. Fraud cases have jumped by 26% from 2023 to 2024. Some of these crimes and cases are particularly disturbing. There were 38 cases of murder for insurance payouts in 2024, where people were literally killed for their life insurance benefits. Even more concerning is the explosion in deceased estate fraud, which tripled from 54 cases in 2023 to 161 cases in 2024. Criminal syndicates are preying on grieving families, impersonating executors, and forging documents to steal insurance payouts worth millions. The industry is fighting back though, with sophisticated detection systems and data sharing between companies. But all of this means that we've got a new scammer arms race. As insurers get better at catching fraud, criminals get more sophisticated in how they evade. Their methods get better. The cost of this constant battle ultimately gets passed on to honest policyholders through higher premiums. It's a lose for them. Then there's another angle that younger South Africans need to understand about all of this. Waiting to get life insurance is one of the most expensive mistakes that anybody could actually make. Life insurance premiums are primarily determined by age and health. So the younger and healthier you are when you apply, the cheaper your coverage will be for life. The data on young people and serious illness is also genuinely alarming. Cancer rates among 25 to 29-year-olds in G20 countries have increased by 22% between 1990 and 2019, faster than any other age group. Among Discovery Life's claims in 2024, 2 in 5 income protection claims were paid to clients aged 40 or younger, and 42% of death claims for younger people were due to unnatural deaths like car accidents. All of this isn't about fear-mongering. It's about financial reality. If you're 25 and healthy, you can lock in affordable premiums that will last your whole life. If you wait until you're 35 and have developed high blood pressure or even things like diabetes, you'll pay significantly more if you can get cover at all. The South African life insurance industry finds itself in a rather fascinating position. It's financially stronger than ever, with massive assets and pretty impressive payout rates, ones that demonstrate a genuine level of value to customers. But it's also struggling with a massive insurance gap, economic pressures that force people to cancel policies, and a value perception problem that suggests that customers don't fully appreciate what they're getting. Then there's the recent introduction of the two-pot retirement system, where South Africans can access portions of their pension savings. All of this might provide some financial relief that helps people maintain their insurance policies, but also there are other things to contend with. There's also cautious optimism about falling fuel prices and interest rate cuts that could ease household budget pressures, but that's never long term. But ultimately, the industry's biggest challenge isn't financial or operational, it's educational. Too many South Africans simply don't understand the importance of life insurance or how modern policies work. They see it as an expense rather than an investment in their family's financial security. The life insurance industry in South Africa is a study in contrasts, incredibly strong and reliable, yet serving a population that desperately needs more coverage. It's an industry that pays out hundreds of billions annually, while millions of families remain dangerously exposed to financial catastrophe. The foundation is solid, but there's enormous work that still needs to be done in making the life insurance industry more accessible, affordable, and understood by South Africans who need it the most. That $500 billion figure payout isn't just a number. It represents families who were protected when tragedy struck, children who could continue their education after losing a parent, and spouses who didn't lose their homes along with their partners. The challenge now is ensuring that protection extends to the millions of other South Africans who still lack it. Thank you for watching this video up until this point. I hope it was just as interesting for you to watch as it was for us to make for you. Check out one of these other videos and hopefully they'll be just as interesting as this one. Cheers.